Something you might not know about Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is that he's a huge fan of lacrosse. He actually played in both high school and college. And in the newest episode of Lacrosse magazine, Overtime with Paul Carcaterra, Belichick was asked if Tom Brady played the game, what position he would play. Take a listen.
Put him in the goal.
Put him in the goal? I would have guessed behind at attack, like a Stanwyck or someone.
You can't run. I mean, you can't run, can't dodge, can't run.
Skip, what do you make of Belichick's comments and that video you just saw?
Yes.
Very athletic.
Allow me to launch on this, Mr. Smith. First of all, allow me to say, on the positive side, of all the interviews I have ever watched Bill Belichick give, this was by far the most open and forthcoming and warm, dare I say, heartwarming that I have ever heard and watched Bill Belichick be. As Molly just pointed out, he loves him some lacrosse. It was his boyhood game that he played. His father coached. He grew up playing, played in high school, played in college. His daughter's the head coach at Holy Cross. It's in his blood. And the love he has for that sport transcends, I think, the love he has for football. But I could not believe the disrespect that suddenly popped out of his mouth when Tom Brady's name was brought up. And I know you can say, oh, he was just kidding. He kids because he loves, blah, blah, blah. And maybe I'm still a little raw from Deflategate and the lack of support that Bill Belichick gave to Tom Brady during Deflategate, especially early on before that Super Bowl when he gave the shrugging press conference. Don't ask me, ask the quarterback. I don't know anything about inflated or deflated footballs. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm back to my theme, and I'm going to hit this harder than ever. I believe that Bill Belichick resents the acclaim and the credit that Tom Brady has always gotten and continues to growingly get for the building of the Patriot dynasty. It is clearly, to me, much credit on Brady's side. I've told you before, it's 75-25 Brady over Belichick, and that haunts Bill Belichick. So in a very unguarded moment, when he had let his guard down with the lacrosse interviewer, and they're actually playing lacrosse catch, right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets asked a question, what position would Brady play? And it pops out of his mouth, we'd have to put him in goal. And the guy says, well, he'd be an attacker. No, he can't run. He can't dodge. Okay, I'm going to give you he can't run. I'll give you that much. I mean, he can run a little bit. But you're telling me, Bill Belichick, that your quarterback can't dodge when he ballet dances in the pocket?
Oh my God.
Ballet dances around pass rushers. Nobody has better feet in the pocket to create that one more second that he needs than Tom Brady, the best quarterback in pro football. And to utter even quote-unquote kidding disrespect is completely out of bounds for the head coach of that team. And if I were Tom Brady, I would just shrug and roll my eyes once more because the coach does not have his back. Trust me on that. And he should.
For the first time on this show, I'm going to call you an old curmudgeon. I can't believe how sensitive you are. You are ridiculous. It's just nauseating listening to you on this subject. Skip Bayless, were they not talking about lacrosse, or were they talking about lacrosse or not?
Well,
yes or no?
Well, sure they were.
Wait, hold on. They were talking about lacrosse. He asked them about lacrosse. They were out there playing a little lacrosse. That's what they were doing.
So what's your point?
The point is, that's what he was talking about Tom Brady in regards to. He was talking about him. That's right. He can't do this. He can't do that. So that's why I'd have him as goalie as opposed to playing some other position for lacrosse. Obviously, Bill Belichick knows Tom Brady can play football. He certainly knows he can tap dance in the pocket like the late, great Gregory Hines. God rest his soul. He knows that. He knows that. He would. Well, Gregory Hines is one of the greatest tap dancers ever. Skip. So obviously, if I'm saying he knows how to tap dance, it's effective.
but
So
you're
the point that I'm trying to make to you,
and I'm using it
it doesn't
positively.
matter. I'm just talking about the tap dancing. That's all.
Right.
All I'm saying to you, he was talking about lacrosse. But here's the deal. The reason why this ridiculous subject has come up is because you want to use it as an excuse to get on Bill Belichick, to remind the world how you feel Bill Belichick threw Tom Brady under the bus, to remind the world of how you believe that Tom Brady is the reason for their success and Brady and Belichick has nothing to do with it. To remind the world that Bill Belichick is the one that should thank his lucky stars, because if it weren't for Tom Brady, he wouldn't even be a coach in the NFL. That's what you want to say. That's what you want to say. Okay? Well, listen, Sean Payton doesn't have Tom Brady. He's still coaching in the NFL. Mike McCarthy doesn't have Tom Brady. He's still coaching in the NFL.
Well, he's got the greatest quarterback ever, according to you.
Excuse me, my point is Tom Brady ain't the only great quarterback. Who's to say that Bill Belichick wouldn't have found another one? That's the whole point. So the bottom line is you can slice it any way you want to. All you want to do is use every little thing as an excuse. If Bill Belichick was at a restaurant and he said, I'm going to let Tom Brady pay the tab, you'd have a segment complaining about that too. Why didn't he pay? Why did Tom Brady have to pay the tab? It doesn't stop with you. It doesn't stop.
That's a bad example.
It's a very good example. I'm using it to say you will find every excuse under the sun to complain about anything with Bill Belichick because you believe Tom Brady has been victimized by him, and that's what all of this is about. That's what this is all about. All about. You know he was talking about lacrosse.
Don't look at me. I don't know anything about the footballs. Ask my quarterback. And you know, and I know, he knows everything about the footballs. I don't know
that. I don't know that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's such a thing. Skip. There's such a thing as plausible deniability.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You can't prove that he
Thank
knew.
you. Now you're on my side. Making my case. Thank you.
I don't know that Bill Belichick knows that.
Okay.
I don't know that.
How much credit, what % of credit for the Patriots dynasty do you give Bill Belichick? I want to know.
I've told you before it was 50%. Why are you making me repeat myself?
I thought maybe you'd seen the light by now. You know what? It's probably going up for me closer to 80-20 now, given the great year that Tom Brady had. Yeah, this is nothing to sneeze at. Trust me on that.
Well, it is. It is something to sneeze at because, Skip Bayless, the bottom line is this. Being a head football coach in the National Football League, everybody talks about how complicated it is, how many multiple responsibilities that you may have to be the leader of an organization, et cetera, and that is clearly Bill Belichick when it comes to the New England Patriots. Tom Brady is fantastic. He's great, but he benefits tremendously by having a guy like Bill Belichick coaching him every day. I respect the hell out of Bill Belichick. You need to as well.
Do you remember what was happening in 2001 with Drew Bledsoe before Bledsoe got hurt?
I remember Bill Parcells struggling too. He's a Hall of Famer.
Bill Belichick on the hot seat for the second time in his career after he got fired in Cleveland.
Sean Payton has struggled. He's also been associated with 6 Super Bowl championships. How about that?
A 6th-round draft choice named Tom Brady, who ran the most awkward-looking 40 in the history of the combine.
Whatever.
Saved the job of Bill Belichick and made him what he is today.
Are you guys really showing this?
What is that? Ah, there it is. There it is. Okay, that's the guy. That's the greatest quarterback ever.
Now he sells cookbooks for $200.
That's correct. He sells cookbooks, and he's the greatest quarterback ever. And he had the greatest 38-year-old year any quarterback's ever had last year. And he is now on a mission to gain revenge for the latest round of Deflategate next year when he will have the greatest 39-year-old year. And again, make his coach even more famous than he is.
May I ask a question real quick? There are plenty of coaches who miss out, who fail to recognize talent, et cetera, Was it not Bill Belichick that made the decision to stick with Tom Brady and say, Drew Bledsoe, you're out of here? Isn't that Bill Belichick who made that call? How is it that we sit up here and we want to rave about the greatness of Tom Brady, but don't rave about the individual who recognized it and had the guts to stick with it? Every Patriot that you find that was a member of those Patriots team would tell you that they all sat up there and talked to Bill Belichick and they raved themselves not just about Tom Brady, but about Belichick's willingness to recognize it and make the tough decisions. We sit here day after day lamenting one executive decision after another that, dare we say, is highly questionable, but we don't recognize the fact that Tom Brady may have very well not been Tom Brady if it wasn't for what Bill Belichick saw. I don't care who you are or how great of a talent you have. There is something to be said for any executive who recognizes a talent and is willing to appreciate putting them in that position so they can be in a position to shine. That's for the bottom line.
Just go look it up. Look what started happening as soon as Tom Brady took over the huddle. Watch
His numbers
the results.
weren't fantastic.
Watch what happened.
His numbers weren't fantastic.
They're on the way to the Super Bowl.
His numbers were not fantastic.
It was obvious who the new leader of the team was.
Said they shouldn't have been to the Super Bowl.
He showed backbone that the previous quarterback had never shown. It was obvious. It was the easiest decision Bill Belichick's ever made.
That is not my point. My point is that you, I, and many others literally talk all the time about cash, about cachet, about the pressure organizations have to stick with the money guys, etc. Drew Bledsoe was that guy. And here comes Bill Belichick saying, I'm sorry, you have to sit down because we're going to go with this guy moving forward in our future. At the time that that decision was made, everyone recognizes it was not easy, it was tough, but he did it. And that wasn't the only decision that Bill Belichick has made over the years. A bevy of players in and out. Bill Belichick, listen, he's not perfect, but Bill Belichick deserves far more respect and appreciation than you ever give him. Ever give him. You should be ashamed of yourself for coming at him like that.
Assistant coaches on that staff in 2001 who will tell you they feared for their job security. They all thought they were about to get fired. And some kid who ran the most awkward-looking 40 ever came in his second year and saved all their bacon, all their jobs.
Who drafted him?
You know what? I'm not going to give you any credit for that.
Who drafted
because every team, including the Patriots, passed him over for 5 rounds.
After that workout, in the combine,
that's just like thank you, God.
Who
fell in their lap?
Who took him? Oh, please. Who
fell in their lap?
Okay. Whatever. Please.
I think Stephen A. just said, good morning, good afternoon, good night, Skip Bayless.
Thank you.
I think he did.
Yes, he did.
I think he did. Bill Belichick. How do you love and hate someone so much on that same team? Only you. All right.